Now, when you hear the word conspiracy, because conspiracy is really hard to beat. When you hear the words murder, when you hear the charges, what's going through your head at that time? You know, you're going crazy as a rapper. You got a lot of stuff going for yourself, and then this shit happens. What's going through your mind? You know, when all this is playing out.
So when I first heard the words, I just automatically just thought about a lawyer. I just like, man, I bet. Cause I was like, man, this journey, I already knew like, the fuck, they can't really charge me with that. So I was like, wasn't really worried about that one. I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't even like really like, you know, a lot of niggas break down in the room and all that. I just put my head down, wait for them to get me. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it.
Because I remember interviewing you while you were in jail. You know, you were in good spirits. But at that time, you know, we're not really knowing what's really going on. You know, you're going through the whole situation, but you end up beating it.
Right.
Did you go to trial for that?
Nah, it was like, they ended up dropping certain charges and I just was able to cop out to a lesser charge.
Okay. And at that time, you're still not charged for the 24 years, right? You're not charged for the robberies yet?
No, I already had lost for the 24 years for
Okay.
armed robbery. I lost trial.
Okay.
Then later, I was able to do that.
Let's talk about the robbery situation. You know, on the news, they accused you of, you know, armed robbery at schools and robbing people for different shit like that. Let's talk about that. And they charge you, well, they sentenced you to 24 years for that. Take us through that day you were sentenced.
The day I was sentenced, right, like I was expecting, like, before I came in, I was like, man, they probably, because everybody in the counties I was with, like, they had, like, more worse or gruesome robberies or whatever. So I'm like, niggas getting 18 months. Niggas getting 18 months, like, going to pre-release center, you know, off of smacking niggas out with dogs and all type of shit. So I'm like, shit, I know they on my dick, so they probably give me like 5 years, you hear me? That's what I'm thinking. So when I go up there, I'm like, man, all right, I'm gonna just try to get this. You see what they do. I know they might put me for 5 years or whatever. But my Cody actually went up first. And that's when, like, you know, the way the bullpen set up, it's like he go up first and he able to come out and tell me what the hell happened. So he went out and he got up first. They gave him 30 and shit. So he's like, damn, they gave him 30. So I'm like, the fuck, they on some shit. I already know they about to try to get me. But I ain't get to 30 because I basically had a better record than him as far as like criminal record before, so they just gave me the 24 and just did it like that. You know, but when they gave it to me, shit definitely felt wild. But in my head, just like in so many other ways to get back from this situation. Like, I had never ever lost my faith. I never ever lost faith, like believing in God, or lost faith that I wasn't gonna get out of the joint. I just was like, damn, I'm gonna have to sit for a minute. And people really gonna give up on me. They gonna be like, man, this nigga got 20. I know how the world gonna look at it, like I really got 24 years and that I ain't gonna see the streets no time soon. So I know people weren't.
You love your stuff because your stuff is amazing. But what if bad stuff happens to your stuff?
Wasn't gonna fuck with me when I was in the joint. But never did I ever think I was gonna do 24 years. Not at one point in the time that I did my bit. I never ever thought that, you feel me? Cause like that's some fuck shit. Like this shit wasn't even that serious. You hear me?
Yeah.
But
so
yeah.
You're sitting in the trial, you're sitting in the courtroom, you're looking at the judge. Are you nervous? Are you sweating? Are you
talking about when I got the time or when I gave the time back?
I'm talking about the time, the trial where you got sentenced for the 24.
The trial or the sentence?
The sentencing. I'm sorry, the sentencing.
I look at the judge. I'm just listening to what the prosecutor's saying. For like the prosecutors, man, like I ain't gonna lie, they do a very good job. You know what I'm saying? They top notch. Like they deserve their job for real, cause they be making it seem so much worse, but it shit be sounding so sweet when they be talking. So I'm like, oh, they gonna believe everything she's saying. So what my defense? You hear me? So back then I really wasn't ready for it, cause I wasn't even gonna be like, I wasn't gonna admit to doing shit. You hear me? I just was gonna be like, man, all I was gonna do was like, man, I'm just trying to get better for real. You know what I'm saying? But so I already knew they was gonna give me the time for real. Once I see my co-defendant get the shit.
Yeah. So 24 years comes out of her mouth, or his mouth, the judge's mouth, right?
Yeah, I had to add up all the time because it wasn't like just straight 24 years. He was just saying 3.5 years consecutive, 3.5 years consecutive, 3.5 years consecutive. So you had to add up all the time before you hear exactly how much time it was. But when I see how much time it was at the end, I was like, oh, I bet.
What's the reaction in the courtroom when this is said? What's your mom's reaction? What's your reaction? Are people crying? You know, take us through that whole moment.
Well, you know, Mons Dukes and all them, they definitely crying. But it was like way more people in the courtroom. It was like with like a lot of people in there that wasn't just family, but they was family. They was family for real. But it was like other people in there, so it was like, you know, that's what it is. I looked over like a few times, but you know, I just had to make it seem like I was all right.
Yeah. In that moment, I know you say you never lost faith, but 24 years, that's a lot of time. And in that moment, are you thinking like, damn, like I'm giving up a quarter of my life, like I'm giving up half my life?
Yeah, I was thinking that, but I wasn't thinking that I was gonna do it. I just was like, man, is it a possibility? I just want to make it out of prison though, because 24 years is when I went to the max, and like I was worried, more so concerned about like, you should be getting real up there. You know?
Yeah.
I was good, but I'm just saying like niggas was dying up that joint. You know? So it's like with 5 years, 10 years, so it don't even matter like what you got. You gotta be on some solid shit when you get up there.